I wanted to ask, so we're at this story. What initially made you decide to jump onto it? It's a pretty emotional story.
Lulu Wang.
Yeah.
I think for both of us, I'll talk specifically for myself. I was a massive fan after I saw The Farewell. The Farewell for me was completely cathartic. I had this incredible relationship with my grandmother who had passed, and watching that movie was literally an experience that I've never had before. I was like crying buckets, and it was cathartic all at the same time. And it was because of Lulu's brilliance, right? That really affected me and penetrated me. So the moment that I had the opportunity to actually work with her, I was in 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I had the gift of working with Lulu on her first feature, and we stayed close through the years just because she was just, from day one, you knew she was just going to excel. She's brilliant. I mean, like, you know, a truly brilliant person, and works at such a sort of high level and always has. So, yeah, I think when I got the call to come and do it, I didn't need to know much more than that she was, you know, behind it, that got me involved. And it didn't disappoint. I mean, it's such a beautiful piece to be a part of, to be surrounded by all these amazing, you know, actors, and, you know, in front and behind the camera, with the team that was assembled. It's you know, it's rare to get to work on something like this. You know, you spend your career hopefully getting to do one or two of these, you know, so it's like, it's one of the special ones.
Yeah.
I know we have to kind of stretch a lot when it comes to like an action scene or something, but what do you have to do that's like emotionally stretching for some of these big moments that are gonna maybe be emotionally taxing on you?
Commit. Literally dive into the deep end, really bare your soul, get naked, figuratively and literally, in that sense too. I think it's you just have to go for it. And what we talked about earlier is Lulu creates such an environment of trust. You just trust her, and for any actor or artist coming onto a set such as that, especially dealing with such an emotional and layered character and script, and it's so incredibly nuanced. That sense of trust is everything that you want to need to be able to dive into the pool and just kind of go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the environment on set like most of the time? Was it more fun to kind of offset some of the tougher scenes, or was it we're sticking to the story of what we're doing?
Very fun.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I think you have to be. I mean, I always say that Lulu's got one of the best sense of humor. I mean, she loves pranking people.
Yeah.
She likes doing it. Like, it's one of the great. That's, you know, she's incredibly funny, and she also sees the absurdity of life itself and what humans are. We are absurd, and a lot of the tragedy sort of goes hand in hand with the absurdity, which means that you're allowed to laugh. And I think that's keeping that on set. You know, obviously respecting, you know, the process, but being around people that you can smile and laugh with, because, you know, we keep saying, if you weren't laughing, you'd be crying. Yeah.
Hi, Lulu Wang. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I am so excited to talk to you about this story, and I wanted to ask. This is obviously based off a novel, but what was it while you were reading it that made you decide that this was going to be the next project you wanted to take on?
When I read the novel, I really connected with the themes that Janice depicts in the story. You know, it's a story about women, it's a story about family and home, it's a story about displacement, diaspora, and so it felt like a really beautiful intersection of so many themes that I care about and so many different types of people. The intersection of, you know, different races, different class, different genders, and so yeah, I just felt like, you know, there were so many seeds already in the book that we could continue to expand on, that it was going to be a really fun world to live in. I think that, I have an image in mind of, characters as I'm reading the book, of course. But yeah, the casting doesn't really come in until, for this project, until after the scripts were written, because there were also so many side characters and so many characters that, it wasn't obvious who the actor should be playing them, particularly because, we had to cast quite globally for this project.
And so what made you decide then Nicole Kidman, the face of AMC Theater, should be the person for the job?
Well, I mean, she brought the book to me, so that was not a situation, yes, where yeah, so it was not a situation where I cast her, but more that she came to me as an executive producer with the intention of playing one of the roles. And so we definitely talked about which role that would be, and at one point she had talked about maybe playing Hillary, because the character of Margaret in the book is written to be a quarter Korean. But then, we ultimately decided to have Nicole play Margaret and cast Brian T as her husband, to make sense of them having an Asian kid.
Right. Well, and I love all of the characters in this, and I love the writing in this particularly. What was it like when on set? And was there anything that was it important to foster a more fun set, or was it we were sticking to the story and what we were looking for?
I feel like we spend so much time on sets, and particularly the crew. They are like their lives are on these sets, and so it's really important to me that it feels like a family, and that people have a good time, and that they're comfortable as much as they can be, and that they feel like they're really part of something. And so, yeah, I think that we also shot most of it in Hong Kong, and so many people from all over the world, had traveled there to work on this project. And so we definitely had a very lively set.